In this bonus episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about slaughtering former students, drinking your own pee, avoiding committing genocide, appreciating Star Wars, and doing everything terribly with Beth Revis, author of Across the Universe.
That was terrible.
It was really terrible. Everything is terrible. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast. Oh, should it be a patodcast? No, it shouldn't.
A terrible
Terrible
patodcast.
patodcast. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult books, series, authors, and voice actors that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're talking to author Beth Revis.
It's not at all terrible.
It's not terrible at all. It's wonderful.
So, what an excellent bonus episode this is going to be. I'm so excited. Everyone,
Yes.
Beth Revis has joined us for this bonus episode.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yay, thanks so much for joining us. We can't tell you how much we enjoy your books. It's not often that you get good outer space books, and that's our favorite type of sci-fi, so
Yes.
yay!
Me too.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay!
I can't remember how many times we've used the phrase good sci-fi.
I know, and you
In
have
the
to...
past 2-3 weeks.
Yes.
Ugh,
Yes.
Thank you.
Good sci-fi. We love good sci-fi. Oh, so we're going to start out with Would You Rather, and this one is a little weird. It's a little weird, listeners, because Beth's episode is just extra special bonus, and so we're going to pick our favorite Would You Rathers from all of the Across the Universe books, and we're going to force her to answer them. So
All right.
it's going to be fine, right? It's
Yeah,
fine.
totally.
It's
I love how we're just going to force
fine.
we'll do it.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm just like a golden retriever, like, okay, this is great.
Holding up a fake leak.
Okay. So, Claire, do you want to ask the first question that we're going to ask her? It's so weird because we
This
don't have
feels really
statistics
odd,
for
'cause
these.
I know. I'm like, on social media. No, not this week.
No, not this
Extra
week.
special.
Extra special. I love extra special.
You know, I'm
Yes.
really sad about the one from A Million Suns being, like, censored on TikTok.
Oh,
Makes me
man.
sad.
Oh.
Because apparently we were violently cursing with Frex and shite, and they were like, no, you can't say those words on TikTok, but we didn't even say it.
I don't think it'll have been Frex. I think it'll have been shite.
Yeah.
However, I have very recently got wrong for not saying it with a Scottish accent that I should be saying it with.
Well,
Maybe we should have had the Scottish accent in it.
Everything
got
is better
time.
with a Scottish accent.
everything's better.
Shite.
Everything.
It's all shite.
All right. Anyway,
Sorry, I'm just kind of repeating the word shite in my head all the time. Sorry, it's just kind
just
of like an
constantly
earworm.
say it. It's
Constantly
good.
saying it right now.
fine.
Anywho, we didn't ask this on social media. We're just going to ask each other.
Yay!
Would you rather leave your parents cryogenically frozen and never see them again, or unfreeze them and ruin their dreams of and ruin their dreams of I can't say it. colonizing a new planet? My God, that was trash. You get the gist.
So what are you going to do?
This is the appropriate shite right now.
I would wake up one parent and then see. I wouldn't do it both at the same time. I would wake up one and be like, hey, you cool with us? And then make this other decision.
So if you were Amy, which parent would you wake up?
If I were Amy, I would wake up the dad first because he's just military. Like the mom is science and she could actually contribute something. But dad's only contributing guns. So I would wake him up first.
All she wants is daddy cuddles. It's all she wants.
She does.
But you know what?
But then he ends up shite.
Yeah, I was going to say, that dad is Frex and shite. And
Yep.
I was not sad when he died.
I was angry with him
At
within
all.
5 minutes.
That's totally fair.
Dude, you're an asshole.
Yeah, he was the
so
worst.
cringy.
He was the worst.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, he was the worst all the way in chapter 1, because that was the kind of choice that you should not spring on a girl, like, immediately.
No.
They should have talked about this. Like, a real family would have had a family meeting on this, instead of like, oh, here's your mom on a slab. Okay, time for you to make a choice.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, he was shite from the start.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Ugh.
This is what we said, though. He gets built up to be just this cuddly dad who, you know, he's going to look after his little girl. But no, arsehole.
Oh, and the whole time
I mean, that's what every girl thinks about their dad,
arsehole.
though. Yeah, he was super racist.
And he's the worst. But the whole time she was like, no, my dad would never do anything terrible or immediately want to murder everyone and be super racist. It's terrible.
I don't think you can become a colonel in, like, the military and not be a bit of a dick. You know, do what's necessary, and those decisions are not going to be favourable.
Those are hard decisions to make.
Yeah, but you don't have to be like the worst human in the world to make or to make important decisions. You can be less terrible than he was.
Well, yes.
Slightly less.
That's always an option.
I mean, we'll keep that as option C, but I can imagine, you know, they've had to pick strong military leaders to go and colonise.
Why can't you say that word? It's hilarious.
I don't know. To settle on a new planet. And they're going to have to make, you know, there's going to be death, there's going to be potential violence, you don't know what you're going to find there, there's going to be a lot of hard decisions. They're not going to pick the lovely, fluffy Captain America style person, are they?
If only they could pick Captain America. That would be
Just
nice.
for the abs. Just for the abs.
With the ass, actually, because he's American.
Yeah,
ass.
it's like there's a bee in that abs that
He's
shouldn't
the
there.
Centauri. He will be Centauri Earth's ass.
He will be.
Mhm.
He needs to be.
Right. So when the movie gets made, can we age Elder up and have Chris Evans be Elder? Just for the ass.
He's not mono-ethnic enough.
Yeah, he's a
He
little
could
white.
be eldest and be an asshole, and he could be unhappy.
No.
Or Orion.
Look,
He'd
I
still
love
have the-
Orion. I would be fine with him, except for the non-mono ethnicity stuff. But I love Orion. I love him. I'm sad that he was freezer burned
Good.
and melted and turned into goo.
Doesn't make good barbecue.
Yeah,
Made me sad.
it had to be done. Well, I was gonna blind him from the start, because that's what happened in the myth of Orion in the constellation story. So I was like, "There's my nod to my little astronomy nerds," and then I just melted him all the way.
Okay,
It started with just the eyes, and then it just kept going.
can that be a brand new Would You Rather
Melted
question?
him all the way.
Yeah.
Best thing I've heard.
Would you rather be blind or melted all the way?
I mean, definitely blind. That would be fine.
Oh, I'm so sad about him being melted all the way. Claire, how did we answer this one? I think we said we didn't want to ruin anyone's dreams, right?
Yeah,
We were-
leave them
We were going to leave them frozen.
Plus, I mean, what 16-year-old doesn't want to be without the parents and, you know, get with shenanigans?
Yeah, I mean,
True.
it would be more awkward for her to, you know, make out with Elder with their parent right there, because you know the parent would like.
They can go in the
nearby.
other room.
No, they're always there together. Apparently, there's no other rooms on the spaceship. Godspeed is small. It's not enormous. There's
No.
nowhere else for
There's
them
no
to go.
hiding. And it's just Amy going, but Mom!
Oh,
It's okay, dear. Are you using protection? It's not the season yet, Mom!
It's not the season. Oh, the season. Yikes, that. Where did that come from? Because that was yikes.
So I was a teacher at the time that I was writing this in high school, and it's a very small rural high school. Nothing to do. accept the obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I was talking to my friend in the hall, and I was like, there has to be something in the water to make all these kids get knocked up. And then I was like, oh, there's something in the water. And that became part of the book.
Excellent.
There we go.
Excellent.
Art imitate life, which imitates art.
Yes.
True.
It's fantastic.
Also, fun fact, every named character that dies in the books was a former student.
Really?
Yeah, I just slaughtered them.
Nice.
I did read an interview. I don't even know, I don't remember which interview it was now, but you were asked who you would kiss, and you said that you would kiss Harley, but then you didn't want to kiss Harley because Harley was based on one of your students, and that would be gross. Yeah.
Originally, Harley was the only one that I consciously made based on a student, because I had a student who was really a beautiful artist. Her name was actually Charlie, and it was a girl, but she's a beautiful artist, made gorgeous prints. I'm looking this way because I have it over here, a floor to ceiling like portrait of koi fish that she painted, and that's where the whole koi fish thing came from. She literally painted it, and it was gorgeous. And then I had to kill her in the story, not in real life. And then I also had a student who just drove me up the wall, and for therapy I was like, I'm going to kill him. And this was before the book was sold. This was before I had an agent. I never knew if this book was going to sell, and when it did sell, I pulled the student aside and I was like, hey, I killed you like a lot in a really gross way. And he was just like, he just kind of blinked at me. He was like, cool. And then all the kids started begging me to kill them. And so from then on, I just killed them all.
Line up, kids.
I love that.
Here we go. That's one reason why I had to have one of the decks explode in A Million Suns, because I had that many kids being like, kill me, kill me. I'm like, that's a lot of people to kill, okay?
All right, you're
Who wants to be eaten by a pterodactyl?
Oh, those pterodactyls.
Do you know we read a book last year called Hot Pterodactyl Boyfriend? Amanda knows where I'm going with this. And every time I was reading the pterodactyl scenes, especially when Dr. Gupta was getting eaten alive, and I was like, all I can see is this hot pterodactyl boyfriend, who is purple, by the way, eating this poor doctor alive. And I'm like, this is just a mashup I don't need in my brain right now.
That is not a good
That's
mashup.
a different kind of eating.
Yeah, I was doing the washing up at the time. This is not what you need when you're busy like scrubbing pasta sauce.
Was the pterodactyl wearing a tiny backpack like
Of course.
You gotta
Of
read
course.
Hot Pterodactyl Boyfriend, okay?
Or just go and listen to our episode.
Oh, yes.
No, just
listen
listen
to
to
the
the
episode.
I will
It's
just
better.
listen to the episode for sure.
Nobody needs to read that book.
That book was weird.
We've taken one for the team reading that book.
We really did. But the sad thing was, like, we hated it so much that we enjoyed it by the end because it was just so
Batshit
weird.
loco.
Yes. Yes.
The best
But-
book clubs are the ones where you hate the book.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, that was... I didn't even think about the hot pterodactyls being on Centauri Earth. Didn't cross my mind. So, thanks.
Oh, it was the first thing that popped into my mind was Hot Pterodactyl Boyfriend. I was like, caw. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Somebody's nose is going to get purpled.
And there's going to be...
Y'all
Yeah,
warned
you
me to
just
expect anything, but I didn't expect this.
Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Let's
Yeah,
have another
really.
question.
Yes, indeed. This one's not so terrible. But who the hell knows where it's going to lead?
Terrible.
Oh, I'm always going to spell terrible with a P now. Okay. Would you rather be a keeper, a shipper, a feeder, or a recorder? Oh, also leader. I think we included leader the last time.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, I think the obvious answer here is keeper, because then you get to keep your own mind, and you get your own library, and most people just leave you alone, and that's kind of ideal.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that one.
Yeah. We picked
We
recorder.
went straight to books.
Yeah, we went to recorder.
Recorder's
I
good
just-
too. Yeah.
I just like Orion. melted or not.
That's fair.
I like Orion.
Yeah, I would keep a recorder. Maybe a recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that one wasn't terrible.
No, not that terrible at all.
I'm just happy it's not me to blame. Next question.
Oh, this one is terrible.
Oh, yes. Would you rather go down to Centauri Earth, even though there are monsters there, that all the military weapons you possess are powerful enough to kill, or stay on Godspeed, even though most of the ship is destroyed, food supplies are low, and quality of life is poor? Probably really stinky.
Oh yeah, definitely stinky. No, I don't think that's a hard one at all. I'm going to the Earth, to the planet.
Even with the monsters?
And the hot pterodactyl boyfriends.
And the hot pterodactyl.
Yeah, they could become hot pterodactyl boyfriends at any time. We don't know.
That's true.
Ruby Dixon could take a turn for the sequel. I mean, we just don't know. So
This is going to be the fanfic of the week, I know
It
it
is.
is.
It is. It is.
But yeah, no, I would definitely risk that because I mean, you could maybe survive.
But who knows how long you could last on Godspeed? Because they say
Not that long.
maybe generations. Maybe.
Why didn't they check the engines and everything before they left? I was raging. They're like, oh, we left the next day and we forgot to check to make sure the engines were okay. And this was okay. We just left. It's like... really? But terrible.
Truly terrible.
So terrible. I'm definitely going to Centauri Earth too. I mean, why would you stay on Godspeed? Why? And does it smell bad? Because like most high school smell bad, you know.
You would have to have. That's a lot of recycled air, and also a lot of recycled water,
and recycled people.
Pee.
and yeah, well, there's that too.
You can't tell me they're not drinking their own pee.
Oh, they're definitely drinking their own pee.
Barty started
And
it.
confirm.
You heard it here first, folks.
I actually did a lot of research on that, and I had I think it got cut out in the final draft, but there was a water recycler, and they're like, oh, it goes in yellow and it comes out clear, and I'm like, yeah, that's not how water recyclers work. But I think that did get cut.
Yeah, I don't recall that happening. I feel like it would have.
They were definitely drinking their own pee.
Excellent. I don't want to drink my own pee. I'm definitely not staying on Godspeed.
I think that's
now.
a good standard of quality of life. Don't drink your own pee.
Don't drink your own pee.
Yep.
I'm learning so much.
Oh, man. Okay. Would you rather kill all the inhabitants on the planet you've landed on and claim it as your own, or try for a peaceful cohabitation even when some of the beings there try to kill you?
I mean, in general, I try to avoid genocide. So I feel like this is a good way of life. I've made solid life choices. So I'm going to go with the not murdering option.
But you were just excited about murdering all your students. Not even 5 minutes ago you were murdering them all.
I mean, yes.
But
I do feel it important to say it was fictional.
Right.
Most of those were voluntary as well. They wanted to be
They were.
murdered in vicious, terrible ways.
Right. They signed up for it, and they knew exactly what they were signing up for. And they were competing to make more and more terrible deaths. So that's on them, not me.
Okay. Fine.
Plausible deniability is there.
Yes.
I mean, it wouldn't stand up any court, but, you know, it'll stand up in a fictional court.
And it's all fictional. It's fine.
Like yeah. But no, I would definitely not commit genocide on the planet. Especially because you don't know. And yes, some of them might kill you, but some of your own people might kill you too.
That's true, because some of your own people are really shitty.
Oh yeah, they are.
Ugh. Yeah. And also, you know, they've only seen a very small portion of the planet. You know, like what's going on the other side?
Murder
Exactly.
trees.
More mining zombies. Mining.
Or just a nice Bora Bora type island.
With a tiki bar.
You never know.
Wait,
don't
is it a
know.
tiki bar or is it a patiki bar?
It's a patiki bar with a coconut cocktail with the little umbrellas.
Served to you by hot
Served to
pterodactyl
you
boyfriends.
by hot
Right.
pterodactyl boyfriends. We've all. It's like those It's like cartoons and movies and things. You know, when the people get dropped on the desert island, it's like, I need food, I need water. It's like, just go to the resort, just
Right.
down the beach. It's all inclusive.
It's just right there.
Claire, what are you doing on this one?
I'm not committing genocide either, because it's kind of like in my list of things not to do in my life. You know, don't
Right.
kill your parents, don't commit fraud, don't commit genocide,
Yeah.
don't be a garbage person.
Don't be a garbage person. Rule number
Yeah.
1.
Genocide
Don't
kind
commit
of fits
genocide.
in the
It really does.
garbage person persona, and I try and avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah. Don't be a garbage person really covers a lot of bases.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
It does. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't commit genocide now that you both said that you're not going to commit genocide. I guess I can't.
Peer
one of
pressure
us-
gets the genocide.
If you want to commit genocide, you go for it. Don't let us stop you. It's not like you're killing us.
Well,
You're not killing
unless you've been
I've read enough
injected.
YA to say maybe we should stop the genocide anyway.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
probably.
This is a villain origin story here.
I am always the villain, though.
There you go.
You're the one who's looked at genocide as an option, so yeah, you are the villain.
I am.
This wouldn't be a lovable asshole kind of villain, though. I mean, you know, you've got a lot of blood in your hands after this.
That's true. I
Don't
do.
let that stop you, though. Lean into your Slytherin self.
I'm gonna. But I really don't want to commit genocide.
You could
don't.
just
It's not
enslave
okay.
everybody.
I could.
Still a villain.
It's fine.
Cool
Okay.
motive, still a villain.
Yeah. Cool. Done. Fine. Excellent.
Can't believe you're a garbage person.
It's fine.
Question.
Last question, right? The last would you
question.
rather. Wow.
Would you rather be Elder or Amy?
I don't know. I think I flip flop on that one a lot. I would probably pick Amy.
I mean, she is like a superhuman at the end.
Yeah, and that's not too bad to live with.
No.
If
And no
she's a
real
superhero,
responsibilities.
Does she have Centauria's ass?
She might be Centauri Earth's ass. I just really want to give it to Elder, though. I just love Elder. And I love Orion, and they're basically, you know, they're clones. It's fine. I can love both of them.
They are the same. Yeah.
What about you? Are you being Elder or Amy?
That's a tough question because really, I really love Elder.
So you've got to be Amy to love Elder.
That's true.
If you love Elder, you can be Amy and then love Elder.
That's true.
And have Centauri, Earth's ass, and superpowers.
Mhm.
Yes. I mean, really, I guess it's probably down to the superpowers. Because why wouldn't you want to have superpowers? And cool,
it works.
weird-looking eyes. You know, why wouldn't you want that?
That can see in the dark.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's really cool.
I'm already sold on being Amy, so yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not
And
Amy.
you get to be a redhead.
That's true.
That's
That is
true.
nice.
That is a selling factor. I was thinking that.
I probably wouldn't want to be Amy, you know, like in books 1 or 2.
Oh, she's such a jerk in book 2.
Yeah, you pretty much hated her guts out in book 2.
Oh my god, so frustrated. I must have sent so many messages going, bloody Amy! She's so selfish! He's trying to save the freaking ship.
People are dying, Amy. You can solve the fucking clues on your own.
Oh, let's read The Little Prince together, Elder. No! Food!
No. People are...
Literally, at our feet, Amy, dead. There's a girl dead in the paddy field, and you just want to go to the recorder hall and look for frickin' clues, and there's a dead girl in front of you. Priorities, woman.
Someone is putting med patches on people, making everyone believe it's me. Please, you go find your own clues. People are being murdered.
I mean, she just really liked Elder.
She did. Oh, she did.
Yes, there is that. But also, really selfish in book 2. I'm so glad there's character growth.
So glad she turns into a superhuman at the end.
Well, it's when she goes in book 3, she's like, I wanted Elder to be there when I woke up after sniffing the flower. And then she's like, oh, actually, it's probably alright that he wasn't there. It's just, oh, it's just because I like him, that's why I wanted him there. But it's okay, because he's sorting out the people. It's like, yay! Yeah. Realisation! Character growth! Yeah. I'm so happy now!
We love character growth. We do.
Yes. And we love communication. Yes. That's one of the things I like about Elder and Amy. Apart from Amy not telling Elder about Luther's attack, they've got a very open and truthful and honest relationship.
Yes.
They talk.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big pet peeve of mine when characters could solve the problem if they just talked.
Yes. Us too. You should listen to literally all of our episodes. I feel like we yell about that at least every other one.
Yeah. That's fair. Lack of communication. It's a hard line to keep because it's so easy if you could just not have them talk.
But then I think it's too easy to not have them talk, and then that's what generates the conflict. Yeah. How do you get the conflict? But they've actually had that communication. That's much more difficult to do, and you do it in these books. So
yeah.
Thank y'all.
Oh man. Okay, so no more Would You Rather. We're done with Would You Rather, and it was not as terrible as we thought it was going to be. So
it had potential, though.
I feel like the answers were all really obvious. Maybe I have unpopular opinions.
Well, you didn't go for genocide, so that's probably a popular opinion.
I would hope so.
God, that's not one for polling. I don't need to know the answer to that one.
Nope. That one will definitely get blocked on TikTok. Okay, so non-Would You Rather question time. I always do background info before every episode, and I read really, really, really old interviews. And long ago, you said that Across the Universe was going to be one book, but with the same ending. And how in the world would that have been possible?
I listened to your other podcast where you guys you mentioned this from the interview, and you were just flailing, and like it would have been exactly the same. I would have just not answered it and left you hanging. If you guys are not Patreon subscribers, now's the perfect time to be a Patreon subscriber and see their shocked faces.
Oh man,
I would have just left every single thread hanging. Well, it's kind of like, I really liked Firefly at the time, and Shepherd Book has the thing when Captain Mao says something like, one day you're going to have to tell me your background history, and Shepherd Book goes, no, I don't, and then he doesn't, and then, there's spoilers, but, so I kind of like that. I was like, I don't have to answer everything. You don't need to know everything. And then my agent was like, yes, but people will hate you. And I don't like being hated.
How dare you use Firefly against us? How dare you? Bravo. Can't help but respect that. But it's true.
You do actually find out about Shepherd Book if you read the comics, but...
Yes, but I think he's kind of like the Joker in the respect of that could be his history, but isn't.
I'm fine with that, because I actually really don't like those comics.
Yeah.
I have issues with them, partly because I liked that you don't know. Yes. It was a question that didn't need an answer.
Yes, that could be said for a lot of things, actually.
Yeah. I sometimes like a book that doesn't have a happy ending. Like, I almost thought that, like, it would have been okay if we didn't find Elder at the end. Like, because, it doesn't always have to to end well, but I'm glad that we found Elder at the end because I love him so much.
That was the thing I had to fight for. Because my editor at the time very much wanted them to stay dead.
I would have been okay with that. I mean, I would have violently hated it, but in a good way.
That's fine. No, I fought for that one. I was like, no, he absolutely has to make it at the end. There was never a question in my mind that he was going to make it. But it's funny when I get like tweets from readers and I can tell exactly where they are in the book, and they're like, I hate you, how dare you, and I'll just send a tweet back like, please keep reading. and then they keep reading, and then like an hour later they're like, okay, I don't hate you.
Okay, fine.
I keep my hate tweets until I've finished the series, and then you've got good grounding on what. I don't send hate tweets. I don't. And don't tag authors into bad reviews, people.
No, oh my gosh, yikes, don't do that.
Yeah.
I really liked the last chapters though, especially in the audiobook. You know, we're big audiobook fans, and I love the last chapters, you know, where Elder's not there, but still it's the male voice saying, you know, like chapter 78. And then it's just nothing, and you're like, oh, where is he? Is he dead? Stop
I didn't know they did that. I've never heard my own audiobook.
They're good.
It's really good. The
Yeah.
CPR scene in...
The CPR scene was
after
amazing.
the spacesuit in book 2. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do it. I tried for the first 5 minutes of Across the Universe, and I even got to pick out the voice actors, and they just didn't match my head, and it weirded me out.
I think they changed. They changed
They do
for
change
books
it
2
as
and
they
3.
go.
So, and
Yeah.
you know, books 2 and 3 were they were better. The audio was better because Elder had like his accent. He did a really good job with the accent. I feel badly because I don't know the narrator's name off the top of my head, and we typically try to do that. But yeah, it was good. And that scene, with all it was just like the CPR. Oh, so good. It was very good.
Yay.
Those
I
quiet
mean,
scenes
due
are
to
always
good
in
writing,
audiobook.
but you know, what about us?
Those quiet scenes where, you know, something quite simple is being said or happening, there's not a lot of going on, it's just that one thing, and you can just imagine the two characters in the dark. And when you hear it in audio, and especially because I tend to listen at night, and it's like really kind of closed in, you kind of, ooh, yeah, it's really good. I kind of half expected Elder to be out of the picture for a while after that scene, to be fair. Like, unconscious, not dead, but just at least unconscious and taken out of the picture while Barty and his rebellion kind of explodes in the background. In literal and figurative sense.
That one, I had to do some interesting research for that scene because nobody in NASA has ever done something like that. And so I was trying to figure out, like, how far could I push a body before it would just not... Because you're talking about when he left the ship, right?
Yeah.
Making sure I'm on the same page. Yeah, because NASA had never had a spacesuit malfunction, and I didn't know how far I could push a body that went through that. But fortunately, Russia kept really good records of all the ways they tortured their men. And the cosmonauts did have cases of spacesuit malfunctions. And so I had to get a Russian translator and help me figure out how the cosmonauts survived or didn't during those experiments.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But that part is very scientifically accurate. Thanks to Russia.
Oh, something else that I really loved that was scientifically accurate, and I mention it in A Million Suns in that episode. I love at the very beginning, it's one of my favorite scenes where they're like, well, we're stopped, but that's not how science works, so we don't really know what's going on. Like, we don't know why we're stopped, but that's not how science works. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you for saying that, because yes, if the engine stopped, they would just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't just stop. So just thanks. Thanks for that. It was one of my favorite things.
This is
So
it.
few people
It's
pick up on that
realism
in Across the Universe.
with a twist. This is why it's good sci-fi, because you can see the reality of it, but then they turn it 2 notches and it's uncomfortable and I don't like it. But it's perfect sci-fi. Following on from that, Amanda, though, we did have a conversation about the bodies in space.
Yes, if they're stopped in space, aren't those bodies just kind of hanging out? We were talking about, like, based on the rotation and revolution of the planet around the suns, like, maybe they're in a different place, but wouldn't they just be hanging out there and, like...
Well, there's
Because the other
explosive
option is there's
decompression.
gravitational pull.
So they
and
do explode.
The explosive decompression would have them, like, their bodies would shoot out like projectiles, but they are technically close enough to the planet that there could have been an interesting meteor shower.
The meteor shower of corpses.
Very
Yes.
meteor.
all the children's... Thank you, Storybots. Thank you for teaching me gravitational pull and how the dead body... I mean, they don't talk about dead bodies, it's a kids' TV programme, but how this stuff works.
It's not for sure that they would be sucked down, because a human body is relatively light.
Right, this is
But-
part of the conversation that we had.
It would depend on where the explosive decompression pushed them. If it pushed them towards the planet, they would have a meteor shower. If it pushed them away from it, they wouldn't.
But it would happen eventually, because the rotation of the body going around the planet, it can only go around so far before the gravitational pull would eventually suck it down, and then, yes, the dead body meteor shower would happen. Not well,
But they would
meteor.
definitely burn up all the way in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So.
They would be a shooting star. Make a
Aw.
wish.
Aw, make a wish on Luther's corpse.
Nah.
Yes.
Womp womp.
Aw. Oh, man, Luther. Hate Luther.
What a dick.
He's the worst.
Who's worse though, Luther or the Colonel?
Luther.
Luther, because of
Attempted
his...
rape and actual rape?
Yeah.
Because of the intent. Because the Colonel at least thought he was doing good and trying to help his people, even if he was terrible about it. And Luther was just
He was just
walking around
terrible.
with a boner.
It's a 4-letter word. We'll make it a 5-letter word. Begins with a P. Something to do with next Tuesday.
Wait, what? I'm not following.
Well, we're adding P's onto everything. P-C-U-N.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. They're,
Can I just say it?
They're
Pecant.
pecunts.
The pecunts. That's a really delicious word to say.
It is. Especially when you add the P to the front of it.
Yeah.
And every cunt needs P. What the hell is happening right now? We need to talk about We need to talk about something else. What?
Drugs in the water.
Oh no! And then you have to drink your own pee.
Oh.
Mm-mm. What are Elder and Amy up to right now on Centauri Earth?
So the thing about that is there is a chance that I would one day write a sequel, and they would have a child, and they would have lived their life, and it would be peaceful. Like the adventure side of their story is done, so they would have, a peaceful, happy life, and build a city that's not full of terror and genocide, and everybody would be getting along, and Elder's probably the mayor, and things worked out.
Oh, nice.
That sounds far too happy. I've read these books. These books are terrible. These books put people through the gauntlet. It's all horrible, all terror, all the time.
Well, the reason why there's not
That's
another book
far
is
too
because
happy.
the bad stuff is over now, and nobody wants to read about happy people. So
That's true. Well, what's Barty up to?
I mean, I don't want to box myself in too much, but I would say he has like a guitar, and he's kind of a loner, and he's like the town bard.
Okay.
He's opened his diner.
Oh
Barty's
yes,
Rebellion.
we talk about him having
Book
what did we
2.
call his milkshake?
It was Barty's Rebellion.
But yes, Barty's Rebellion,
And-
the milkshake.
Yeah, and it's a diner, and he has the kind of like you have the alcoholic milkshakes with the plastic ice cubes with the lights on the inside.
I think he would like that.
Yeah. What did we call? Oh, and the that cocktail is called the vexing shite.
I thought we just called it Barty's Rebellion. But then
Yeah,
then maybe we went back and called it the Frexing Shite.
I may have expanded on it in the small break that we took.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say where these threads go.
In my brain, I've even got his logo and everything.
Yeah.
Home of the the freaking shite cocktail.
I like it.
Yeah, and it's a space theme, obviously.
But it's made. Oh, that reminds me. That's a question that we were supposed to ask, Claire.
Yes.
Because of the milkshake is made with, you know, the cows that moo squeak. What does that sound like? What do the weird cows sound like with the mushroom horns?
They sound like drunk Wookiees.
Can you make that sound?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because that's the kind of clip that will get everywhere.
It wouldn't, honest.
Oh, what?
No.
We wouldn't do that.
No. Just get Chewbacca like really drunk and then just ask him to cuss a lot, and that's what the cows sound like.
The audiobook does do a funny job of it, because it kind of like she reads it out and you kind of go, what? Okay.
You really should listen to the audiobooks. They're good. You would not be upset with them.
I have also never been able to even reread one of the books. Once it's in print, it's dead to me, and I don't reread them or re-listen or anything, which has gotten me in trouble before. Because things change in edits. So I had a clue in Across the Universe with the doors to the third level had this like big bas relief carving in it, and I cut them in the edits and forgot that I cut them, and then built a plot line about them in the second book, and my editor was like, hey, you get to rewrite this because you cut that detail. It would have helped if I had reread my books, but I didn't even learn then, so I still don't do it.
This is why you get a fan base to basically do the wiki for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see why George R.R. Martin has trouble keeping up with details. Like, I don't know. At least now I can bring up the electronic files and do like a search for the eye color or whatever. But
yeah.
Control F is my favorite function.
It's necessary.
Really good. It's really good. So another interview that we read you mentioned that A Million Suns went through like so many revisions, and it was like 300,000 words. What was the original story? The first one that the beta readers hated. What was it?
Wait, of A Million Suns?
Mm-hmm.
Like, which ones were all about? I had to rewrite that a lot. I also had to rewrite Shades of Earth a lot. I have no idea. It was partly the puzzles and figuring out the puzzles and how to get those all worked out.
Mm-hmm. And
then I did have like some clues from the first book that got cut, and I had to rewrite all those. So that was a good time.
It was
I don't
terrible.
remember that as much. It was absolutely horrific, and I blocked it out entirely. Like, my mind is just a smooth blank slate on that one. I did rewrite everything in Shades of Earth after chapter 3, like 100% different planet, different monsters, different everything.
What were the monsters?
So I think I had more like plant-based things, and the tarots weren't there, are not like in the same fashion, and the hybrids were not there at all. So it was a lot of rewriting.
Wow.
Yeah. You hear the ache in my soul. That was real.
Yeah.
Plant-based monsters remind me of the trees. The Pioneer. That's
Have you read The Pioneer by Bridget Tyler?
No.
The Pioneer and the Survivor. There's plant monsters in there. Plant aliens. You'd probably like it. It's pretty good.
Bubbles of death.
Yeah. It's another one of our favorite sci-fis that's like, it's good space sci-fi.
Excellent.
So,
People keep being killed. It's great.
yeah.
Space horror.
Yes. Space horror, murders in space. It's fantastic. Oh, man. Claire, do you want to ask any questions?
Yes, sci-fi. We're talking about sci-fi, actually.
We are.
So, what's your favourite kind to write? what your influences and inspirations in sci-fi?
I think my earliest influences were definitely all film, Star Wars and Firefly, obviously. A little bit later, I got into Doctor Who a little later than that, although it feels like I've been in Doctor Who for a while. But those sort of character-driven ones, because when I first started writing across the universe, I was really concerned because like my husband's a really big sci-fi reader, but he likes hard sci-fi. He likes the kind of sci-fi where there's like 3 chapters detailing the engine. And that feels like math homework to me. I just cannot. And so when I had the idea for Across the Universe, I was like, I think it should be a sci-fi, but I don't know how to make engines, and I'm not in NASA, and I don't understand any of this. And then he kind of reminded me that like I actually really love Star Wars and Firefly and things like that. And since then, I found more in book form, and I think there's a lot more coming, and a lot more since then. But yeah.
Because you have written for Star Wars as well, which I was very excited about. So, yes. We were talking about Rebel Rising, and we're like, oh, Star Wars, we need more Star Wars in our lives. So we might have to do a Star Wars month.
I really think that we should. As much as we both like Star Wars, and like we haven't read any Star Wars books, so we need to do it.
I have a lot of Star Wars
you should
books
totally.
in my
There's so many good ones. Like I love if you like Clone Wars, definitely read Ahsoka. But
I need to read the Ahsoka books. I'm desperate to read those.
You've got to read E.K. Johnston's Ahsoka with Clone, especially if you like Clone Wars. Like you can read it if you don't like Clone Wars, but if you really like Clone Wars, like it's just chef's kiss perfection. But I think the best one to start with, other than that, is Claudia Gray's Lost Stars, because it tells the background stories that are happening during the original trilogy. So you have the original trilogy bring you in, and then all these new storylines that you never saw coming.
That was fun. But I'm really excited to read yours because I really like Jen Erso. Like so much.
Also, please read my Star Wars book.
Yes.
Read all of theirs, but also read mine. Yeah. That was so much fun to write, and I love Jen Erso, and it was such a good thing to have really loved Rogue One, because I really love Rogue One. Everyone dies. How can I not love it?
Well, exactly. That's what we were saying. It's it's a self-contained book. You don't need, like, movie as well. You don't need to watch it. I mean, it helps to watch other things, but you don't need to. And it's just so nice to have the characters all there and then all die, and it's like, There's a TV series coming out though.
But that takes place before.
Yes. Well, otherwise it's zombies.
That would
or Ash.
And that's Death Troopers, and Death Troopers is good, but it's cheesy and it's not the best, but it's fun.
What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
So Rogue One is definitely up there, but Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Like it's so dear to my heart. Like the little Ewoks and everything awesome happens. I love it. Everybody says Empire, but they're all wrong. It's Return.
I like Return. I think if you've watched Return at a certain age, because of the Ewoks, it sticks with you more. And the older you are, the more it's difficult to gel with an Ewok.
Yeah.
I used to love the Ewok cartoon.
But what about the re-release where Anakin was drawn in with a crayon? Because that was awful.
That was the worst PNG file ever uploaded to anything.
Do you wish they had gotten the blend tool out a little? Like, just a little blend with Photoshop would have helped. Actually, okay that they put the young Anakin in there, though, because I think for people who see it now, who've never seen it before, I think it makes more sense to them. But a little blend tool would have helped.
Man, everything that they added to those re-releases are so bad. It makes me want to die.
You're right. I mean, the thing is, though, with Star Wars, you need to know when to stop adding in and making the changes. The thing that I couldn't get with it is episodes. Right, we know episode 4, 5, and 6, the original 3, and they were made in the 70s, and then episodes 1, 2, 3 released so many years later. The technology, that was the problem I had. The technology was quite clearly not trying to mirror what it was going to turn into. But when you've got like The Mandalorian is a perfect example of them saying, right, this is the technology that they had, and it was quite clearly done on little PCs that only do black and green and nothing else. So let's mirror that, and you can see them going with the attention to detail that I'm afraid George Lucas lost in episodes 1, 2, and 3, and because he never had CGI, and he's like, oh, look at what I can do, and I can understand.
Now add
but
all the
I can
CGI.
never forgive. Yes, and I can't forgive anybody for Jar Jar Binks. I'm sorry if anybody likes Jar Jar Binks, but you're wrong. I can't forgive you.
No.
It's just nasty.
I will say the only thing about Jar Jar Binks that I like was kind of solved in Chuck Wendig's novels. And I can't remember which of the 3 has Jar Jar in it. I see the first or the third one, I think. And watch it be the second one because I said it's the first or third. But you see Jar Jar for like half a page, and it kind of resolves, and I'm like, okay, I'm at peace with Jar Jar existing now.
Well, now we have to read it.
I haven't read that. I've read some Chuck Wendig, but I've not actually read his Star Wars ones. It's very good. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You know, I really like Solo.
Solo's unsung. It's
I
fun.
liked it.
It needs more story to it, though. It was left hanging too much. It needs a bit more story.
I just want Envy's Nest. Just a lot of Envy's Nest.
I need to watch the movies again and the TV shows again. Yeah. I do enjoy Clone Wars.
What did you enjoy? What?
I do enjoy Clone Wars.
I thought you said hormones. I really enjoy hormones. Like what? Where?
They have their use.
They do, especially during the season.
To bring it full circle back on topic.
Yep.
Hey, we never promised to keep on topic.
No, we don't. We can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. I feel like we could talk Star Wars for forever. And we will.
Oh, don't even get started on Firefly either.
Right. But you know, there's not as much Firefly, unfortunately, as there are Star Wars. So. Oh, that reminds me. A couple of months ago, when I still lived in Seattle, I went to a Comic-Con, and Sam Witwer was there, and he was talking about like all of the voices that he does for Star Wars. And really, I was just like, I was there for Sam Witwer as Aiden from Being Human. But then just listening to him talk about being like every voice of the dark side, it was amazing.
And then on the other side is Alan Tudyk doing all the other voices because he's in everything.
Yeah.
And he's a Firefly.
Oh, yeah.
Although Sam's much better to look at.
Yes.
He doesn't have to talk, but he can.
He can. Oh, but he is so pretty, especially in real life.
I'm envious of you.
She's gone.
It's good. It's good.
I feel like we've gone down that Jake Abel hole we went down a few months ago.
I know. We got really obsessed with Jake Abel. I had a dream about Jake Abel the other night, and we invited him on the podcast, and like he was going to do it, but we were also at like a party, and he was there, and he was only 5 feet tall. It was a weird dream. That was like 2 nights ago. I meant to tell you about it, Claire, but I didn't. I'm sorry, that was literally out of nowhere, but I had to talk about it because he was only 5 feet tall and it was weird.
It's not the only weird author dream we've ever had, but that's fine.
Now we're gonna have weird Beth Revis dreams.
We can only hope.
Just keep the pterodactyls out of it.
Hey, nope. If you end up with a pterodactyl boyfriend, it's all your own fault.
It is. It really is. Oh, okay. So now, after all of whatever the hell it was that we were just talking about, tell us about your project on Kindle Vella, or however you say it. Tell us all about it, because I haven't read any of it, but I read your tweets about it, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to read this. Why am I not reading this yet? So
you should totally read it.
I know, I want
Kindle
to.
Vella. It's a serialization, and the thing about it is if you read now, you can vote for how the story is going to ultimately end. So if you wait, you don't get to choose the ending.
I know.
Because I'm only going to write one. But it's a serial of a fantasy. It's a high fantasy that really examines like the politics of a court. Like the main character is a princess, but it's not like a Disney princess. It's like a political Princess Leia princess who's actually doing things. And also there's monsters that are giant birds that like to eat people.
Yes.
So those are your two elements. You got a royal court and giant birds that are going to eat you.
Yes.
And there's a wall, and the wall magically keeps the birds out, but the wall is breaking. And part of the plot is figuring out why the wall is breaking and how to fix the wall. And the way it's going to end, there's 3 different possible endings. One is a happy ending, one is a very tragic ending, and one is kind of middle of the road. And I am slowly taking votes as the serial goes on. And it's not like, do you want the happy ending? It's like, do you trust this character? Do you trust this character? And based on what people say, it's going to add up to the end. And right now it's neck and neck between happy and tragic.
Oh my God.
I honestly don't know how it's going to end.
I got to start reading it now so I can force it to the terrible ending. I love terrible endings.
The terrible ending would be the easiest to write. So I am actually very in favor of this because it's going to be hard to give them a happy ending. Because the only thing set in stone, there's one character's death that has to happen. There's one character's choice that has to happen. And then the magic system is there. Like, I'm not changing the rules of the magic and the history, but everything else, like whether or not the side characters are good or evil, which character the princess ends up choosing to like cast her fate with, who lives and who dies, aside from those 2 characters, it's all open. And the votes are gearing up now, because it took me a while to kind of establish the story, but now we're here. So it's weekly votes, and they're all going to add up to one ending or another by the end of October.
Fantastic.
So when this goes out, the ending will have been voted on.
Yes.
Oh.
Do you think so? I mean, it's just coming out like in a couple of weeks.
It is. It is. I am.
If it's weekly votes, though.
It's true.
It's weekly votes, and there's only been 2 votes that influence the end, because there have been a couple other votes where people could pick side stories. Like one vote was, do you want a map or do you want a history book chapter? And they voted for the history book chapter, because of course they did, because that was harder. And the one that's currently going on is, do you want the background of one of 3 characters? And those 3 characters are all in flux. So if you read their background, that might influence the next vote, which is, do you trust that character? And do you like them, or do you think Sign is the princess? Do you think she should trust them? And there's also a major death coming next week, so it's
like a fighting fantasy book to the nth degree. This is amazing.
It's like choose
It's
your own
not
adventure.
to the nth degree, because my next one is going to be a choose your own adventure to the nth degree. I'm going to write that one a chapter at a time, using a combination of voting, dice rolls, and tarot cards.
Oh my God.
Yes!
I'm so excited to do it.
Yes!
I have a Patreon now, and I'm showing the behind the scenes of how I'm organizing it. So the first character has already been done with a D&D character sheet and dice rolls. And you can hear the panic in my voice, because the dice rolls did not go the way I wanted them to.
Oh my God.
Why do my D20 have to be downstairs? I need my dice.
Yes. No, that one is going to be another I'm picking it up as soon as Blood and Feathers ends, because Blood and Feathers was more planned, so I could do it a lot faster. But this one is going to be picked up right after, and it starts. I've done the character sheet, and it's based loosely on Evie from The Mummy, except she's in a museum where magic things are real.
Oh my God.
And so I've got that much figured out, and I've really needed like a very smart bookworm, and I did my rolls, and she's like super strong and dexterous and just an idiot. I got 2s for her intelligence, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to change this. So now Evie's a himbo, and I just but the whole thing, every chapter is going to be done live on a video on Sunday. I'm going to do the dice rolls and show you like the setup. It's going to be like an interactive D&D campaign. And then I write the chapter of the book by the end of the week, and then we do it again. So.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
the
wanna
coolest thing.
You absolutely can. The planning part of it's already started, and then it should be picking up by November, I think. And Blood and Feathers should be over by the end of October. It might go into, it depends on the votes. It might go into November, but wherever that goes, yeah.
This is so exciting.
Yeah.
I know, it's really kind of interesting.
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm totally nerding out over D&D at the moment as well, like watching playthroughs and listening to podcasts and all that wonderful stuff, and I just want to get back into playing RPGs so badly.
Part of this came about, I have it here, because I got into D&D right before the pandemic, and my husband got me the cutest little dice bag, and it's a dragon with a bag of gold, and then it opens up and then the dice are inside.
Oh my god.
And I was like, I got all the pretty dice, they're even holographic. And then the pandemic hit and I couldn't play with them, so now I came up with a way to do a story where I could play with literally everybody on the internet, and we're writing a story out of it.
Oh my
That is
gosh,
amazing.
it's the coolest thing ever.
That is amazing.
I'm really excited. I'm nervous as hell. Like, I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm excited.
It'll be fun. It'll be really, really fun.
I keep telling myself that in between the anxiety.
We're on board.
Well, you've got two here. You've got two on board here. And books and more books and dice and D&D and character sheets and oh my god, what's the wisdom modifier? Please say there's a wisdom modifier.
I would have to get the sheets, but I think it's like it was so bad. She's so dumb.
Do you know what? Do you know what? You need charisma. That's the main thing.
She
Because
does have charisma.
Yeah. Rules you end up having to do is crazy. And what people forget with D&D, the rules are there, but they're not set in stone rules.
Right.
As the DM, it's your world. You can help change it. And the biggest rule is never get anybody ever to roll a dice if you don't want them to fail. Because if you want them to fail,
it's true.
If you don't want them to fail and they roll a crit one and they're going to die, well, that's on the DM's head. So if you don't want it to happen, don't get them to roll. Just let it happen. Or roll from an overall effect.
Yeah, I mean, my girl also got like a natural 20 on her armor, so I think she's gonna be okay. But I am gonna introduce another character who I'm gonna roll for probably in 2 weeks, and he does not have either real armor or plot armor, so we'll have to see how that goes.
Oh man,
I'm kind of hoping for a bard. Just wanders around behind her with a lute, and just sings the tales.
As long as he's smart, because my girl's going to be walking around oblivious, and I need him to be like, hey, look at this thing over here, it's on fire.
I'm gonna love how dumb she is. I think that's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's so
It's
exciting.
going to be fun, I say, full of
just
terror, but it's going to be fun.
Huh?
What? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
I love
amazing.
it. Oh my gosh.
That is amazing. It takes some of the, I mean, it's scary, but it takes some of the onus away from, you're letting the fate and the people decide. It's like, I've got to write it, but that's the hard part. But you guys have got to decide what happens. So if everybody dies, it's not on me. Hey.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna set up the choices. Like, I think from the start, it's gonna be like, does she go left or right? And it's gonna be as simple as as open as that. And we'll have to figure it out from there.
Oh my gosh.
So where can people find this? Tell us exactly where people can find all of your stuff.
The planning part of the Magic Museum is on Patreon at patreon.com/Beth Revis. And Blood and Feathers is also there, as well as more in-depth author notes and backgrounds on every chapter. So if you're a writer in particular, that's where you want to be. If you are just a reader and you don't care about how the chapters are done, you can read it on Kindle Vella. And it's just Kindle. You can look up Blood and Feathers, Beth Revis, and it's right there.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Oh man.
Excellent.
Okay.
We'll try and make sure to link everybody up on our socials as well. And now you are officially part of the Fictional Hangover family.
It's true.
We're
You are.
pretty much social media stalking you.
Yeah.
And we'll
Okay.
retweet and do all of the necessary there as well.
I mean,
But in a loving way and not in a creepy way.
I
in a
approve.
creepy way.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah. I mean, I've been a fan since the beginning of Across the Universe. Like, I read them as they came out. So I've awkwardly loved you for a long time.
I love awkward love.
Yay! Great. Oh man, so
I love
exciting.
you, but not as a creep.
I mean, I'm kind
See,
of a creep.
my first encounter was the girl in the machine.
Oh, that was
when we
such
did
a
the
good
live,
story.
Way back.
That was such a good story.
I rage screamed.
Yeah.
I rage screamed.
I still can't remember why we were talking about boobs in that one.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
There's no boobs in it.
But we did it enough to make a T-shirt about it. So, but I think we made the T-shirt because you said you would buy one if we made one. So I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know you made the T-shirt, but now I will buy one.
You do have to buy one.
Okay.
Fictional Hangover, noer.redbubble.com.
And then I'll have to listen to the episode again because I don't remember where.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is either.
I don't. I just know I complain about my boobs all the time, so it could have been in anything.
Yeah, but I mean, why would we have shouted "Damn you, boobs"? I don't remember.
Maybe it was something where that got him distracted enough.
Maybe.
Her, I don't know.
Because man, Franklin was a shitbag.
Oh yeah, he totally was.
Yeah.
You
I was based on well, it was based on the book The Time Traveler's Wife. I know, like, it was an okay book, but I just kept thinking, like, if a dirtbag had that ability, he wouldn't have been that good. And so then I wrote a dirtbag.
Oh, he was the worst.
Yeah. But he dies.
He's
Yeah.
battery.
He's
Hope he doesn't
battery.
die Yeah, he dies eventually after all his life essence has been sucked out.
I just imagine him being like shriveled up in there at the end.
Oh yeah, like a raisin.
Like a mummy husk.
Yeah. Or a mummy husk. And his mouth does like the big weird open thing from, the mummy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. But he doesn't get a comeback because there's no Book of the Dead, Book of the Life,
No.
Evie.
There's
Just too dumb to read
There's
it.
no Anaxuna Moon in this one.
No.
And Evie's too dumb to read it, so...
Now I want to watch The Mummy again.
I love
watched
that
The
you guys
Mummy
know
last
the Mummy.
week. I only watched it last week.
So good.
I'm so
It
excited.
really was good.
Mostly the first one was the best. And then once it crept into Scorpion King territory, that was real bad because he was also drawn in crayon, and that was really bad.
That CGI got weird.
It was real.
Well, when you don't have a budget and you've got to do CGI rock, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Just nasty.
No.
The kids were cute though. I liked the kids. I don't usually like when the love interests get kids, but I liked it in that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
I cringed a lot. So
That's probably enough. We've kept you long enough. So, other than your Kindle Vella, where can everyone find you on social media?
I am on Instagram at Beth Revis, Twitter at Beth Revis, Facebook at Other Beth Revis, and TikTok at That Beth Revis.
Nice. I didn't know you had a TikTok.
I got a TikTok. I caved. Oh man. I gotta watch all the cute puppy videos.
Yeah. I'm sad. I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't make an Amy TikTok because I have been trying to do the book character TikToks, but literally I almost drowned myself taking those Amy pictures.
So
But
that
they
would
looked
be
really
very
good.
realistic. It would
It
be
was
very
fun.
realistic.
Thanks. It was fun, but yikes. And there was so much glitter in the water, but you couldn't see it. And it made me sad.
Oh.
So much
Somebody,
glitter.
there was somebody who did one a while ago, and she basically waterboarded herself. She was like, "This was terrible." I was like, "Yes, this was not an instructional manual. You should not have copied this chapter."
No. Yikes.
This chapter, however.
It's funny that you said that because I was like joking with my husband because he took the pictures. And I was like, "So, Jacob, what did you do on Thursday evening?" "I waterboarded my wife."
At least you didn't put a cloth over your face with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But like the tube, I kept breathing, or like I kept getting bath water in my mouth. It was not good.
At least you were smart enough to use the tube.
Yeah, I tried, but then I just
It was something.
choke on bath water and get bath water up my nose. But it was not
So
cold
kids,
water.
anybody
either.
listening, don't do this. Don't drown yourself for the gram. It's not
Don't
worth
do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth
But
it
it was
at
a cool
all.
drown
picture.
yourself for the gram. Don't commit genocide. Don't be a garbage person. Don't drown yourself for the gram. 3
This
lessons
is
we have
good
learned today.
life advice. Yes, this is essential things that everybody should. I mean, that we're basically Oprah at this point, giving good advice.
We
So
really are. We really, really
Amazing.
are.
Amazing. The Agony Aunt section starts next week. Give us your
Oh.
terribleness and we'll give them to you back.
Excuse me, terribleness.
Terribleness.
From now on. Okay, thanks. Thank you for joining us. We should let you
Thank
go
you for
now
having me.
because yikes. Sorry. Not sorry.
this was
but...
so much fun.
I be prepared for us to ask you back when we do our Star Wars month, because then we can
Yes.
totally geek out and just talk about Star Wars for an hour.
Yeah. Awesome.
Down for it. I mean, obviously.
Right, thank you very,
Yes,
very
thanks
much
again.
for joining us.
Yeah. We love you
Thank you
probably
for
too
having
much.
me.
And good luck with your D&D adventures.
Yeah, I kind of are. I'm calling it interactive serials, but I mean, it's kind of
Interactive
also just
serials.
D&D. It was
Yes.
an excuse to play with dice.
Oh, it's so
Always looking for that.
I'm really excited.
Perfect.
All right. And for the end of Blood and Feathers. Good luck with
Yes.
that.
Thanks. I have no idea because I kind of had hoped that the votes would make it clear and I could get a head start, but nope. Everybody's right down the middle. Can't go anyway.
Thanks,
Well-
ambiguity.
We'll try to influence it in the most terrible way, in the most terrible way possible.
Excellent.
Yikes. Okay. Thanks so much. We really appreciate you.
Thanks. Bye.
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 So that's it for this bonus episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss The Threat Below by Jason Latshaw. Look out for our Would You Rather polls on social media. Don't forget about our book club and monthly challenges on Facebook. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover-themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com, follow us on Instagram at fictionalhangover, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/fictionalhangover, and on Twitter at fictionalhangover, no ER. If you'd like this episode, check out our others and rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. And finally, special thanks to Liz Emerson for our music. You can find her on Facebook and Patreon. Thanks for listening.